going to do today is mark out, set out, mark out and cut the I-beam to length, and set out for all the bracing and the struts and anything else that's got to get welded to it. So there's a fair bit in it, and you've got to be pretty precise. What I'm considering this time round is, instead of, so the last time, yeah, I'll show you. So on the last skid I built, I essentially that way, I cut that off it, and basically that gave me the shape for the skid to slightly rise up, so that when it gets loaded or unloaded, it's not just dragging on a square corner. You can always tell a better produced skid by how they fabricate the ends. 9 times out of 10, because it takes a lot of work, they don't touch it. They just weld on an eyelet or something to hook it so it can be pulled on and off. But I prefer to go through and do a closed end. Just gives the web of the universal beam more strength. Plus also, because they're the toe points, it means that it transfers. When I weld on the eyelets I use, it transfers all the weight of the pulling power through the actual I-beam itself. So it takes a lot more work, but it's worthwhile doing. But essentially this time around, I'm not going to do it that way. What I want to do is I want to eliminate that point, and I'm still happy for it to come up on that angle, but I'm hoping that I can cut it round on that corner. And then when I get the bottom flange, because what I do is I pull the bottom flange up, I'm hoping that that bottom flange... Unfortunately, at the end of the day, this didn't work out, but I make it work nonetheless. It's just that the radius was too tight, and by the time I tried to flex that 10mm bottom flange, it just was too hard to get it to curve back up to that 90 degrees. And so what it meant was that it had a big bulge in it, so I definitely wasn't going to do that. So I didn't. I went back to the way I normally do it. Weld it shut. So that's the plan. Cutting it, I've got a plasma cutter, but it struggles when you do something like this. So it's only a fairly small plasma cutter, but it is useful. But I just like to do it the old-fashioned way with just a cutting tool, bladed cutting tool. Rightio, let's get into it. So first things first, you want a nice sharp engineer's pencil, which that isn't. So you just shave it. There you go. But you've pretty much got to come in full depth to here. And then, oh fuck, I'm not even filming it. Come in full depth to here, and then I'll probably have to do a separate cut to cut that one, which you could probably come in on that angle, but that's a long way to cut. So rightio, we'll see how we go. So I've cut it. It looks something like that. And then I've got to fold it. So you can see why they don't do it, because there's a fuckload more work in doing this than there is in just keeping it square. Because you need all of this shit. No, so it turns out I couldn't do what I wanted. So I just went back to the original way, which is, it's too hard to try to get the radius here. Like I was heating it, this radius right here, and I just couldn't fold it far enough around. So I've just chopped it off and then done the same thing that I always do. And it's just, that's how it is. So that's one skid completed. Sorry, one rail completed. That's the other end of it. Just put one in the middle. But yeah, well that's all the web in for the skid. I'll show me welds, because you'll like to critique them. So yeah, that's it. That's the framework for the skid. It's all got to get painted. I'm battling the weather today, so that's not good. It's not really raining, but it's like scuds, and it's no good letting your welder get covered in water. So that's it. So I had to cut 32 of them, and that literally took me less than 10 minutes. And in comparison to cut them and punch them, I haven't punched them yet, but or drill the holes in the last lot, was like in fucking half a day. Day one did get some cleats in, but I had to go take the dog to the vet to get a needle.